presenter is Bruce Davidson.
Not including hospitals and military facilities, there are 3.7 billion square feet of office space in North America, of 10,000 square feet or more. And every day, companies lose or misplace mission-critical assets. As you can see from this New York Times article dated December 29, 1898, it's been a problem for over 100 years. It costs us millions of dollars in lost time, missed deadlines, corporate liability, and tons of aggravation. The answer is Protean solution, GPS for indoors. At any moment to be able to see exactly where an item is, any place in your worldwide organization, and who has it. Susan Ramsey, our founder and my head of technician, was working on enhancing a DOS program she invented to track plastic boxes she rents at the moving store. Her task was to incorporate radio frequency identification, RFID, or for those of you who follow CSI, RFID. When she got a call from a mid-sized legal firm asking if she could track their minute books, she realized the system could track anything, be it a minute book, a case file, a library book, police evidence, office equipment, piece of art, you name it, anything. Our focus is on our software. Protean creates efficiencies in areas previously assumed to be impossible to streamline. Our patent pending process bridges and manages the communication between the physical layer of RFID and the business application layer. After our pilot in a major legal firm here in Toronto, we found it necessary to develop our own custom designed software and hardware and firmware to enhance the results. Value to our client is simple, it works. We deliver a reduction in wasted time, which increases billable hours and delivers profits to the bottom line. In addition, the client's cost is minimal. We can work in any system platform, and we deliver a chain of custody. Protean is a hardcore business application. We'd like to say there's nothing else like it in the business. Both Toshiba and Celestica have checked through their worldwide organizations and they agree, but will there be? The reality is the barriers to entry are very real. A competitor will need years of real business experience. They need to have the vision, the proper platform, and appropriate financing. And then, of course, there's the matter of our patents. We have a team that is sufficient to say a great mix of amazing and diverse expertise that works seamlessly together to deliver a remarkable product. Our primary business model is based on software as a service, with revenue created by billing per square foot. The more square feet we cover, the more revenue we create, the more profits. Our vision is to provide a corporate tracking system for all mission-critical assets, right down to a single piece of paper. Our first target market is the professional firms here in Toronto. And from there on, we'll roll out to things that you've thought of as I've been speaking. We can track anything. With no upfront cost to the client, the model requires an investment by Protean to cover the client's equipment. However, every installation creates an ongoing customer relationship, delivering a continuing source of revenue year over year. Protean mines profits for motion. Last week, a global technology company called and asked us to participate in a $20 million presentation. This validates and confirms our vision. We're looking for investors who would like to take this journey with us. Thank you. And to the side.
You mentioned that your target group right now is the professional services firms that you want to include this technology. The professional services firms are generally going paperless, and they are including technology in their own models. How would you respond to that?
Every legal firm, every accounting firm will always have case files. They always have them moving around their offices. They want to know where they are. And we know that they're all going paperless. They say that, but of course people have been going paperless for, what, 20 years now? the paperless office is not a myth, it's a fact. I mean, there's lots of digitization. I'm not going to say there isn't. But the fact of the matter is that everything that you have that is important and has to be tracked and you should have to know about. And let's just use a legal firm. There's always the original documentation. But no matter what you have, you're still going to have original documentation. That's number one. And number two, you're always going to have case files flying all over the offices. You can't get around it. You can't just do it in a digitized sense. And we know that because we did our first pilot with a major firm here in town who gave us one floor to play with and to play on. And they were telling us about the paperless office and how they were going to go that way. And let me tell you, ain't happening. I mean, I'm not saying it's not, that some of it's not happening, but when people say, oh, it's all going to go to digitize, it's all going to be, no, it's not. And for any lawyer in here, I'm sorry if I, except at Faskins, of course, but Faskins is perfect. Sorry, sir.
Your presentation does generate an excitement. Any listener would be interested to learn more. But to me, it doesn't provide any meat. RFID has been there for last so many years, 10, 12, 15 years. When RFID was introduced, everybody thought, oh, for inventory control and inventory measurement, this is the way to go. But it did not get adopted. And so many warehousing, logistic companies are not using RFID, even when about 10, 12 years. Also, a lot of the technology in RFID-enabled technology is now generic. I don't know, now generic, available without patents. Your presentation didn't provide me any indication on how are you creating barriers of entry and how are you creating, what kind of patents you're working on, so that the believable part in the presentation was low. The excitement was very good.
Okay. And you needed to have, I'm sorry, the ability to understand.
You need to put a little more meat into it.
Okay.
I need to understand the product a little better.
Okay. Basically, you'd like to hear more about how am I going to deliver.
Exactly.
Okay, fine. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think given that you've got patents and that you've run a trial in a floor of a professional services firm, I think you probably have a basis to build out, because I had the same feeling, which is I thought this is really interesting, but then I didn't have anything that I could actually say, because I'm a lawyer, how would this actually impact my law office? There was nothing, not even a couple more paragraphs of details, both on patents, barrier to entry, and what it is your system does, and why it's any better than anything else.
You're a lawyer. Let me tell you exactly how it's going to affect you.
Okay.
You know your office where you have all that nice, neat office where you have nothing on your desk and nothing on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Every office, every law office, every lawyer's office has got this high on the desk and piles on the floor. And that's because, right or wrong, you don't want to lose those files, right? Well, here's the other thing. It's when iPhone, I'm looking for the Jones file, and I've been working on it, and I have to know where it is. I don't know where it is. I don't know it's in your office or your office, where the hell it is. And I'm sitting at a cottage in Muskoka, and I need to know where that file is. With our system, with about 3 or 4 strokes, you can go online and say, where's the file? It will tell you that it's in your office. If I don't know where your office is, I'll say, where's that? It'll say, on the 23rd floor of the Bay Adelaide Center, in the big room. And that'll say where it is, and I'll say, that's great, but I still don't know, because I've never been in there. Show me where that is. The third strike you get on ours, it comes up with a grid of this floor, with every office marked on it, and your office is blinking a big red blinker on it. So I know that it's in the northwest corner of the building. Now, that's not good enough when I phone you and say, what's your name?
Brad.
Brad, it's Bruce. I'm up in the cottage and I need to get the Jones file, and I know it's in your office. Now I know you're a busy guy. And I know you're just going to sit there and go, yeah. No, it's not here. It's not here right now. I'm looking, I can't see it. Because you've got millions of other things you're doing. And you actually don't know who I am, because I'm just some guy, low life from the Montreal office. So what I do, sitting up there in the air, I hit it one more time, and an awful squealing noise comes out of the pile that's on the floor, okay? And you know where that file is. That's for tracking stuff. And you know where is it going to be in my office, and where is it?
So Bruce,
I can do that. And but the other thing is if I do that, and you happen to just hand that pile of stuff to your secretary at the same time, I can watch on my screen in the Muskoka as that little number takes off and walks down the hall to somebody else's office.
Great. Can we move to the next feedback?
John,
Next week.
yes, John.
Yep, sorry.
John ahead.
So, as opposed to redoing the presentation, just some feedback on, so what you just said was great and differentiated in my mind from many other things and didn't come across at all in the presentation.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm thinking of, if you're doing Enron as a lawyer and you've got document management systems coming out your wazoo, if you're a physician in a large hospital, you've got medical records tracking systems. There are a zillion competitors out there, but they don't do what you just said. So I'd love you to open up with saying, here are the huge investments in document management. This is what they do well. This is what they don't do, and this is what we do. And then that would shorten your presentation quite
I really
dramatically.
appreciate that. That's great.
And when you say we're doing a $20 million presentation, or someone asks us to do it, I have no idea whether that's their business, your business, whoever's business, and what's a $20 million presentation.
Theirs, we don't know how to say it. We don't have to, we're very excited about it. We don't know how to say it.
You don't have to answer, Bruce. It's okay. This is just the feedback. Yeah. Okay. That's all. Thanks.
Okay.
I think we hear about a lot of new technologies that are very interesting, but that don't connect with customers. What I think you might want to focus on or add to the presentation is what return a customer really gets from the system. Why would he spend whatever he spends to hook that system in? What real saving does he? How does it pay for itself and over what period of time?
Just one last point. Good presentation, everything, but I think you committed two cardinal sins. The first is you mentioned there are no competitors, right? And that's never true, ever. There are always competitors, always replacements. It's okay, but never say there are no competitors. There are. The second cardinal sin is you did what I call the top-down revenue approach. Is I want to capture 1% of the market share. It's this much. Very, very weak. It shows you haven't really thought of your business model when I come across something like that. So I'm just some feedback for you to improve.
Let me just ask you a question.
It's okay. We'll talk about it offline later. We'll talk about it offline later.
You can't put a number. If you start doing that, you can put like big numbers in a 4-minute pitch. It's like.
Okay, Bruce, great presentation.
Well done.